Hey, out there, it's your boy JT. I'm on location at my buddy's gig here at Cigarro's Lounge out here off of Butner Road. We're gonna walk in and check out his setup. He has a small setup going on, and it's kind of interesting. This is for the sound guys out there. Walk over to the door here. Hi, this is Living Room Sessions Live, and this is a series dedicated to interviewing musicians, sound men, vocalists, people in the industry in general. Today's session, we're going to talk about all of the aspects, or most of the aspects, about doing sound that people might not know. To help me do that, I have my friend Rodrick from Our Legacy Media Productions. He's going to assist me here. Hey, Rodrick, how you doing?
Good, sir. How
Glad
you
can make it, man.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
All right. I just have a few questions for you about sound, and we're going to let the people know things they don't know. How long have you been doing sound?
Started doing sound in 2009.
Okay, that's a long time.
I started in my church in 2007 videoing.
There you go.
So once I started videoing, I wanted to learn how to put the music together. I seen the board, and it was like this big board. And I like, all these channels.
Right.
Like, what did all these channels do?
Lights
and the guy broke it down to me, and I'm gonna show you what he did. He came to me, he said, you just he covered up the whole board. He said, look at this, just one channel. They all do the same thing.
Right.
So if you ever get that in your head, then you can find out how to do the sound. So that's how I started. So.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What was your first piece of equipment that you bought?
The first piece of equipment that I bought was Personas, and I'm gonna show it to you over here. I don't know if we can go over there or not, but it was a 1602.
Okay.
Persona 1602 USB.
Right.
And I had a guy that was my mentor, his name was Mike McGovern, and he came and he trained me how to use the board. He showed me all the different fat channels and the difference with compression and the different equalizing and the gates and what they do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got started into. That's my first piece of equipment I bought.
That's very interesting. I got started in a similar way. You know, I'm a guitar player. Okay. Right. So I do a lot of gigs, and there were a lot of situations where the sound, we were wondering, well, how are we going to get the sound? How are we going to get the sound? So I started buying equipment. I bought my first piece, my second piece. Next thing you know, I had a whole PA, right? And when I got my first board, which was the Personas board, I had to learn how to use it.
Right.
I had to have somebody show me.
Right.
And I learned the hard way, actually on gigs, playing guitar. I knew a little bit, enough to get started, but then I had a friend of mine who we'll meet him in a moment. He's also here. Show me on the fly while singers are turning around, talking about, hey, turn up my monitor. Hey, I need a little more of this, a little more of that. I had to turn around and know where to go on that board. So it took a long time to do it, but for me, I think that was the best way to learn it on the fly, under fire like that.
So it's a lot of things about sound that a lot of people don't know. One of the most important things is frequency. If you ever can learn frequency, then you can learn sound and know where sounds come from. So once you get the frequency down, the room, tuning the microphone, changing the microphone, the channels for your microphone, because you have the microphone scanning out the room, what we call it. Right. So
do you work every week?
I work every week. I do a couple of spots around town. 2 dedicated spots I do, one on Tuesday, one on Fridays and Saturday.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. That's a lot of moving equipment around.
Some of it has stationary. I installed it in there, I just leave it there.
Okay, all right. Do you like inside gigs or the gigs that are outside?
I prefer gigs that are inside. I'm gonna tell you why. It takes much more to run a gig that's outside.
Yes.
So if you got a gig outside, you have no walls to block it in. So sound bounces off wall. Right. So if you got the sound to bounce off wall when you're outside, it goes. So that way it take more to produce on the outside, depending on how many people that you got on the outside.
More speakers, more power.
Yes, sir.
The whole thing.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a harder job. You're moving more stuff.
I wouldn't say harder. Just say more. Take more equipment to bring out.
So that brings me to, if you do a big outside gig, you need help. You need somebody to help you, right?
You need help even if you're doing an inside gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you get you're lifting up speakers and so now they go into the line array speakers. So they're much lighter with the Class D amps.
The line arrays, yes.
Right.
More expensive as well.
More expensive, yes, they are. So and it cuts down on the heaviness of picking a speaker up over your head and stuff.
Saves your back.
Saves your back, exactly.
I get it. How do you transport your equipment?
I have a trailer. I have a 6x12 trailer.
Yeah.
And I put it behind my truck and
that is the ideal situation.
Yeah.
You're doing it right, man. What about the expense of doing sound?
I see a lot of people that try to get into sound. And what people don't realize is it's expensive.
Yes.
It's expensive. It's very expensive. One of the things that get to the point where people don't realize is cabling. Cabling is one of the most expensive things, because you got cables and cable costs, they break, and you got to buy a lot of them.
One 20-foot cable can run you $70, $80 for one 20-foot cable. Yeah.
Right.
And to be a sound man, you have to have 30 of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, over time you buy a little bit at a time till you build up.
Right. Exactly. It got to make sense now.
Yes.
You can't go buy a $20,000 speaker and you got a $100 job.
Right. And that leads me to as a soundman, I noticed you buy premier equipment. You buy the equipment that's going to do the job very well. You don't just go out and buy the bottom of the line.
Right.
You buy good stuff.
Exactly.
Why is that?
For the clarity.
For the clarity.
Only reason.
Okay.
Only reason. Because here's the thing. Let's say you got a speaker that's loud, but it's not clean.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you still don't have clarity.
Yeah. It's
but if you got a speaker that's
that.
clean, that can give out a good clean sound,
yeah,
it might not be as loud, but as long as it's clean.
Everybody in the audience can hear it, and it's more comfortable.
Right. And two, another reason, this is one of my main reasons, because I'm a film guy too.
Okay.
It has to look good.
Right. Yeah.
It has
the aesthetics of it.
If it sounds good and it looks tacky, then it is not good.
Right. That way you can do the weddings.
Right.
And
exactly.
the different
presentation is everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
The wedding planners and event planners probably love you.
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
Because I noticed I've been to some of your gigs. I go to some of his gigs and I'll hang out and just watch this guy. I've learned so much from him, right? He'll have the skirts on the poles for the speakers, and the sound, the planners just love him because he makes the place look great. Whatever color you want, he can pretty much do it. Travel is sometimes necessary for sound because, the gigs aren't always in the same place. You have to be able to get around. And like you said, you do have a trailer. My next question for you would be, what's the furthest you have gone to do a gig?
The furthest I have gone was Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. Was that 5 hours?
6.
6
hours? It took
hours?
me 6 hours because I'm south side of Atlanta, so it's 6 hours.
Wow. So you loaded your equipment into your trailer.
Right.
You drove the 6 hours to get there ahead of the band so that you can set up the stage to get it ready, right? The band comes, you hook them in, they do the gig, and after the gig, you have to break down. The band is gone, you're breaking down everything, and maybe you go back that night.
That's why you need help.
Maybe you don't, right? Because it's 6 hours and you're exhausted. So, that's the life of a sound man.
You're right.
So those are just a few things. I just have 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
As a sound company, do you want to grow any bigger than what you are already?
Of course you want to grow. The thing about growing is that what you want to be, what I want, my vision, I want to be working while I'm asleep.
Okay.
So I want to have people work for me while I'm asleep because I'm getting older now.
Right.
And if something happens to the point where I can't get out there, then my money decrease.
So you want to be able to do the sound gigs, but you may not necessarily be there.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to be able to train people and have be their mentor. Like I had a mentor, and I still do. I still have people that I look up to.
Okay.
Yeah, and you was one of them, John.
Well, I think we look up to each other.
You have showed me some things too. Yeah, he have showed me some things on my board too that I wasn't even doing when I first got it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We're learning off each other, and
Right.
that's what partnering up is all about. And it's just not Rodrick and I. There are several other sound people that we partner up with. We might go to each other's gig and just check out, and sometimes we help out, right? You know,
That was good in network.
Yeah, we kind of stick together on things. So, thanks, Rodrick. I appreciate you being on the show.
Okay. Appreciate